In this presentation, I'll talk about conditional sentences. Conditional sentences are used to express the idea that one action will happen only if another action happens. There are many types of conditional sentences. Some people refer to them by numbers. Today I'm going to talk about conditional sentences of type 0. Conditional sentences of type 0 are used mainly to talk about habits and facts. Example, if it rains, the ground gets wet. Notice that the simple present is used in both clauses. Similarly, if you mix yellow and blue, you get green. Simple present, simple present. If you smoke, you get old early. If you boil water, it evaporates. All of these sentences express facts, and thus they are referred to as conditional sentences of type 0. Look at the following examples. If it rains, the ground gets wet. If you pour oil on water, it floats, and so on. These 4 sentences express facts, and as you notice, the simple present is used in each of the clauses that make each sentence. Rains, gets, pour, floats, is, goes, boil, evaporates. Another case where we use the conditional sentences of type 0 is when we express habits. And you know that habits are repeated actions that always or usually or often or never happen. If I listen to loud music, I always have a headache. Again, notice that in both clauses, we're using the simple present. Also notice that in each of these sentences, in the main clauses, we have an adverb of frequency. And you know by now that adverbs of frequency are used with the simple present tense. Another thing to notice is we shouldn't always start our sentences with if. We might start with the main clause, like in sentences 2 and 3. The only difference would be in punctuation. When you start with the if clause, you have to use a comma after it, like in any other complex sentence. If you start with the dependent clause, you need a comma. If you start with the independent clause, you don't need a comma. We can express conditional sentences of type 0 using imperatives. Notice in the following sentences, the main clause always starts with the verb. And by now you know that a sentence that starts with the verb is called an imperative sentence. If he gets there before me, ask him to wait. Ask him to call me. Tell him to wait. Talk to your doctor. As you notice, all of these main clauses start with the verb, and this makes them imperative sentences. Finally, in conditional sentences of type 0, we can change if and use when. So, if you press the button, the television turns on is exactly the same in meaning as when you press the button, the television turns on. To sum up, what are conditional sentences of type 0? What tenses are used in these sentences? And what can we use to substitute if in these sentences? Conditional sentences of type 0 are sentences in which the writer or speaker states facts or habits that always happen when a condition is fulfilled. In these sentences, we use the present tense in both clauses. If you put a plant in a dark room, it dies. This is a fact. that was so, is still so, and will always be the same. In these sentences, we can substitute if with when, with no difference in meaning. Thanks for watching. Take care.